See, there's a quote that my dad always says to me, and it's ready, shoot, aim.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, so he's always prayed that, and that's something that's always stayed with me, is ready, shoot, aim, which basically means just get on with it. Just plan a little bit, because they preach so much in universities, fail to plan, plan to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time you plan too much, someone's done your idea.
Yeah.
So you just get on with it. You don't. I think too many people feel like they need everything squared away. They feel like they need to know everything. They need all the research. They need to have a business plan. Need to have the. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just get on with it.
Right. So my very first guest ever goes by the name of Scott Mears. He's a young and aspiring entrepreneur, digital marketer, and a social media enthusiast. Not only that, Scott really focuses on building communities of like-minded people, and one of those communities being the Budding Entrepreneurs Meetup, for which he's in charge in Manchester, and actually is the place where I first met him. So, thank you very much for taking the time and for doing this, Scott. I'm going to go really straightforward and just sort of, so that, you know, introduce to me, to the viewers, sort of just tell a bit more about you, where you come from, sort of your background.
My background interest. First of all, thank you for letting me come on the interview and being your first. So a bit about me. I just graduated last year. Graduated Manchester Metropolitan, so in Manchester. Prior to did business management. Again, I went business focused very quickly because from school it was a bit messy. I just had no clue I was interested in.
Yeah.
But like a lot of us, I think we look up to our father, our mother, and that's where I sort of fell into the business side.
Right.
And I did a lot of business at school. Then it went into all business in college, and then business again in uni. Right. So that's been most of my path.
Did you always feel like that's your thing, sort of the business part of it, just of your sort of parents and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I was highly influenced by my father. I think I was very highly, because I was at a young age, I was in the factories with him, on working on the lines.
He's got his own business then?
Yeah, he runs beauty companies. So I was at a very young age exposed to that, and that I feel that's had a big influence on me.
Right.
Therefore, I went down that route, and I found I started enjoying it. So, because I would have never made it through uni if I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I would never, because it does get, the last few years does get really difficult. So yeah, that's education-wise, that's me focusing. Is a business side of things. Involved in a lot of sports outside that. Love rugby. Really love getting involved in sports and getting more involved in meetups now, just building my personal brand.
Nice. So, having your father in the business and sort of always having that background, did you feel like you had an advantage coming into the uni? And at the end of the day, you know, when you're always surrounded by that, did you feel like it was necessary to get that business degree? Because to finish with honours, right? Which is, you know, congratulations, right? But did you feel like you needed it, or like if you needed to do it again, would you sort of skip it and just continue, you know, just sort of focus on doing business rather than sort of going to uni and learn about it?
I'm happy you mentioned that, because I always have this funny conversation with people at meetups and people who've gone through university. My brutal honest truth is I believe I'd be 10 times further than where I am now if I didn't go to uni and went into business first. That's what I honestly believe. If I had all those years in business. But I don't regret it for a second, because the memories that were made, and I wouldn't have been as responsible back then, like me now to 4 years ago, a completely different person. So will I have got into business quickly at that age? Probably not. So yes, I think I would have been further, but I wouldn't have had all those memories and build all those friendships and relationships. So I don't regret it for a second. I'm happy I went through it, and I feel if I didn't go through it, I'd have always been saying to myself, "Oh, what was uni like?" I'd always be saying that to myself.
Yeah, it's something you have to experience. Isn't it?
So I don't regret it, but I do believe I would be further. And do I feel having my father doing business helps me? Yes, I do. Like now, I have him as a mentor.
Right.
So he helps me.
Always just available there.
Yeah, on a daily basis, he'll whip me in shape if I messed up. He'll say, right, he'll sort me out.
That's
and he just keeps an eye on me, and like that, having that there from day one has always keep me in shape and maybe keep me a little ahead of the game when it comes to it.
So, at the moment, from what I've seen and what I know about you, you really focus on the digital marketing side of it. Is that sort of your main focus at the moment? So did you always see yourself, right, you know, while studying or in the earlier, that this is where I'm going to go, is digital marketing?
Interesting. So when I learned digital marketing, I didn't know it until my placement. So I did a placement, not yet last year, the year before. So I did a placement for my final year. And in that I started a student beauty company. And because I was trying to break into student unions and run it within the student unions, there was a model that helped the student unions, but we wanted them to promote it for free. It was a lot of marketing. Like 80% of my job was just pushing on social media, finding as many free channels as possible to push. And it was pretty difficult because it was online retail and it was trying to promote beauty brands. No one had a clue they were. It was very difficult. So that's where I started to realise I enjoyed marketing, and I started to find lots of little tricks on platforms because I had to, because otherwise I wouldn't have lasted. So that's where I developed my interest in digital marketing. So it wasn't actually that long ago. It was about 2 years ago I really got into digital marketing. But since then, I've just doubled down. It's like what people say, they say double down on your one expertise rather than trying to generalise. So now I've done extra courses, I've got mentors within it, I go to meetups for it. So I've gone all down onto what I enjoy and I'm good at. So that's what,
So you call yourself now, what do you call yourself? Like when you present this to lots of people, do you say, I'm a digital marketer? Do you say I'm an entrepreneur? Do you say something like I'm a marketer? Like, you know, especially entrepreneur, because it's being thrown around so much, that word, because it feels like it's losing its meaning. So if you do see yourself as an entrepreneur, like is that sort of, when did you feel like you became one, if you did? And if you didn't, like how do you see that from the sort of entrepreneur side of it? Like, I'm just really curious.
It's an interesting question because I've had this argument with a guy called Jay Allen. He's a 20 years veteran. Now he runs 2 successful businesses. And he was we were having a good conversation about the word entrepreneur. And how he really hates the word because he's just like, no one's an entrepreneur.
It's really overused, it feels like.
It's just so fake, especially the whole Instagram aspect of it, of all these flash guys. It's just rubbish. Everyone on social media, all they promote is what they want you to see, not what they actually. That's what we're trying to do in the blog, is actually the things that people don't want to show, because it's so much more true to your journey. But his definition of an entrepreneur was, if you can leave your business for a suspended period of time and it still runs itself, and you could go out of that business for 3 months and nothing changed, it can run, then you're an entrepreneur. But if you're coming out of your business and it dies within 3-4 days because you aren't running, then you don't believe in an entrepreneur. And I think that opened my eyes to it, because right now, if I left my business, it's just me. With TV, it's a bit different, but I'm a big integral part, so it couldn't run by itself. But I've always until that conversation, I've always called myself an entrepreneur. Probably highly influenced by online. It's hard not to get wrapped up into it and not say you're entrepreneur.
It is the popular thing to be, right? If you're at least doing something on your own, you have that tag.
It's that stamp.
I'm on the same boat. Like I refuse to call myself an entrepreneur, but at some point you kind of have to, because if you're sincerely going that way, rather than faking it, it feels like you should be called one. Obviously, you know, it should be backed up by your work, right? But I'm just curious, so is your definition of entrepreneur then that? So what your colleague said? Or do you have your own sort of definition of it, or what you think it should be?
Well, my vision of it, which again has probably been quite influenced by social media, is the whole hustle aspect of it there. Sort of, like when I started my first company, was that aspect of like, there was no chance of me breaking the student unions, but I found ways from just grinding. People said, look, you have no chance. And I just kept on hitting. And any normal person would have stopped. But I think an entrepreneur, yes, there has to be times where you have to reassess and be like, look, this isn't working. But sometimes, as entrepreneurs, it's almost like they have an illness. Like, they just keep on hitting. And any normal person would stop, but an entrepreneur keeps on hitting. And then suddenly they see a hole.
It's a good illness to have, isn't it?
It's sort of, it can be, it's balanced. It can be bad, because then you can become obsessed with things that just ain't going to happen. But I think if you use it wisely, it can be an unbelievable tool. And that's what I believe, is just to keep almost like chugging along every day, because working on your own, it's tough. Like, it's really tough to... I find discipline a really tough thing, like being disciplined and getting up early, doing things to a certain amount of time, making sure everything... It's really tough to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. So if you're managing a business and running it yourself, I believe you're an entrepreneur, because the amount of effort it takes in that is just...
So do you feel that's the toughest part of being an entrepreneur then? Sort of that having that discipline?
For me personally, yes.
Do you have like a routine or something that you always stick to make it sort of easier for you?
Yeah, I've built routines and broken routines,
Okay.
but I've tried to build routines. So,
Do tell.
well, one routine is that now I run to work. So I recently got some offices, so now I always run there because then that allows me to do my fitness, and it just completely. I don't know, just whether it's the endorphins it releases or something.
Right.
You're so focused after a fitness.
Yeah.
It's crazy how weirdly focused you are. So I loved doing fitness before, but it can be really difficult. So I always try to do fitness before. I think a good routine is just having targets. Like, for instance, I have a marathon, so that means I have to do it.
Right.
So I put myself in positions that I have to do it.
Right.
I'll put a meeting at 9 in the morning. That means I have to be there. So even though it might annoy me, then it forces me to build these routines.
Yeah.
But yeah, really just get up at certain times and run in the morning, meditate.
Yeah.
I find that helps and brings me down and calms me.
All right. I actually wanted to try meditation for quite some time. I tried it for a bit when I had a trial for like an hour.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But how did you find meditation? Because everybody's really praising it, but I'm kind of like afraid to try it because it feels like it could calm you down to such a like level. I like that feeling of being switched on all the time. Like how does it how did it help you?
It helped me hugely because I think you'll know yourself as well. It's like, yes, that buzzing is good of like always being aware and just really on it, but I find it can be a nuisance at times because when I'm just trying to focus on one task, I've just got 1,000 things in my head because I think as entrepreneurs we always have 1,001 things we want to do, and really 1,001 things might make your business better because all these things you want to change your website, but at the end of the day you can only do one thing at a time. Whether you like it or not, you can only do one thing at a time. So for me it really helps me just calm me down before the day because I always I'm trying to get more organised with my stuff as well now because you have that anxiety. Oh no, I need to speak to him. Oh no, I need to call him. Oh no, and suddenly when you don't, you just need to bring yourself down and just look at your schedule and just go by your schedule and just it keeps you calm, keeps your brain a little bit tempered.
So in terms of your schedule, how do you do like a daily thing, or do you have sort of high level goals out there that sort of I need to reach this and whatever needs to be done along the way, it needs to be done sort of. So for you to be on that schedule properly, what works best for you, sort of micro or sort of more macro management in terms of your task allocation?
The sort of 2 weeks is quite micro, I get quite detailed. Months is it's just sort of big goals. Obviously standard things like events and stuff that you can easily plot down, but I'm not going detailed past really 2 weeks. There's some detailed big goals. Like building a team, running my own events, like they're big goals and I can put loads of detailed stuff working up to that. But at the moment I've just recently adopted Trello. I don't know if you use Trello.
Oh, I love Trello.
I recently adopted it because I wanted to, I used to do it all in an Excel sheet.
Oh my god, man.
And it kind of worked because what I loved about it is that I could color code it and it was so satisfying to make it green when
it's green when it's visual.
It's so visual, but it just got to the point where I was just listing, like I said, with calming my thoughts down, is I just list all the thoughts in my head. So I just have Excel of lists within lists of lists, and it was just a joke. And it was all like, maybe they were good ideas, maybe 8% of them good ideas, but it's just, they're never going to happen. So Trello and just doing 2 weeks detailed, having my daily routines. I have to check social media every day, have to build content every day, have to follow up with my community managers every day. So that's a good team aspect in the Trello as well as they can look at other tasks. So it's sort of my daily rituals and then what I want to do for that day in the next 7 to 14 days.
Sounds good. Sweet. Now coming back to the budding entrepreneurs meetup. How did that happen? How did you get a part of it? How did you sort of took management of it at Manchester? Tell me a bit about that.
So I got to know Ollie in my final year, about halfway through my final year.
Ollie's the founder?
Yeah, Ollie Forsyth is the founder. He's 19 years old. And I got to know him because he invited me to the London one. I was a student, didn't have much money or time because of exams and everything, but we got to know each other and we just became friends. And I had a business running at that time, so we were helping each other out businesses, giving advice, and we just became really good friends on social media. And then I started to realise he did events, and sort of I helped him a little bit with the marketing aspect, and we just helped each other. And then he wanted to venture out from London. He wanted to venture out, and that was Manchester and Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I'd been in Manchester for the past 5 years.
Right.
So, and I'd also been going to a lot of events. I wanted to be on the behind-the-scenes aspect. I like the feeling of running events and being involved with all the speakers. And I loved that. Yeah. So it almost just fell into place.
Yeah.
You can call it luck if you want, but
you make your own luck, right?
Yeah, you make your own luck, I believe. So, I guess there was a bit of luck to it. But yeah, he was going to Manchester, so I basically said I'd take it up.
Yeah.
He ran the first 2 events for me, and I've taken it from there. So now I run the marketing for the Manchester one, that's soon to launch in Leeds, and I've just gone into the director role, so now I'm facilitating all the community managers within all the cities. So they're in 8 cities right now, and I help basically onboard them.
Yeah.
And make them understand the event process, marketing, and all that side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because it started from a newsletter, this whole thing.
Amazing.
And then he wanted to bring all those entrepreneurs into events, and it just grew from London.
How are you finding it then? How are you finding it managing all that stuff? Event management, I imagine, is crazy.
It is a little difficult. I think keeping up with everyone, following up with everything you say to people is so difficult.
Yeah.
Organising events isn't that hard because the only confusing ones can be the workshops. The networking is simple. We just need a venue, and we might put free drinks on or something. Yeah. And we usually do the same venue, so it's actually quite easy. The workshop's a little bit more complicated because then we've got aligned dates with other organisations and speakers. Yeah. That can take a bit more organisation. As we go, it might get a little bit more complicated. But I'd say the most difficult aspect is the follow-ups because you meet so many people at these meetups and you say, oh yeah, I can connect you to that because you do know people. But then you end up with a list of like 100 people, and then you have your community manager you've got to run, and then suddenly you promise them you're going to build them a social media profile. So I'm just trying to find a way where either I stop promising people stuff or I just find a better way to manage it all, and that's why I'm trying to sort of use Trello more and get everything down in one place. Because I'd say that's the most difficult part at the moment, but I'm learning that.
Sweet. So what's the plan going forward? Is it TBE? Is it your just digital marketing thing? Is it your own business? What's in store for you?
So I currently run the company Unlock Your Online. So I have a number of clients, TV being one, and I work with quite a few beauty clients as well.
Okay.
Currently it's growing that. I'm enjoying that because I get to do the digital marketing, and obviously that's what I do. And the more I do events, the more I enjoy it, and the more TV grow, the more time they take. So that has become much more of my time. But I do like sort of having my own stance of being on my own. I absolutely love TV and my clients, but I do like that sort of stance being on my own.
Yeah.
But we'll see. My focus at the moment is to grow my company and to grow it. And my focus is to grow it to 8 to 10 clients by the end of the year. Okay. So that's my target, and we're well on for that. So, and I would like to employ someone within the next few months as well. I'd really want to build a team. That's a big thing for me. I really want to build a team. I just think it'd be so cool and just so nice.
Being part of TB, right? This is where you can find a lot of really like-minded people, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
really.
One of the perks of it.
Absolutely budding, really enthusiastic, and just really up for it. And that's the main thing, I think.
So, being a young, I'll say it, entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah.
If you had to give one advice to the younger, maybe even viewer, or it doesn't matter, just like someone that's starting in the entrepreneurial journey, one piece of advice that sort of really stuck with you, what would that be?
So much. Actually, I'm trying to think of something that not everyone says, because I would see. There's a quote that my dad always says to me, and it's "Ready, shoot, aim."
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So I always play it, and that's something that's always stayed with me. Is "Ready, shoot, aim," which basically means just get on with it. Just plan a little bit, because they preach so much in universities: fail to plan, plan to fail. But by the time you plan too much, someone's done your idea.
Yeah.
So you just get on with it. You don't. I think too many people feel like they need everything squared away. They feel like they need to know everything, need all the research, you need to have a business plan, need to have it's bullshit. Yeah. It's just get on with it, and because you're going to learn so much quicker in that first month of doing it, because you might find out it's a rubbish idea, and no quicker way you're going to find out than speaking to your customer, the people you're trying to target. They'll give you the answer like that.
Exactly.
Your research will never give the answer. It just gives you assumptions. So ready, shoot, aim.
I love that. Awesome. Very last thing. Where can people find out about you? Where can they find your content and anything like that?
So it's at Scott Mears on my YouTube channel, because obviously I do daily blogs.
I'll link up everything, by the way. Yeah.
So at Scott Mears daily blogs. So I love that you're doing this now, because it's so cool. Because I've been doing it recently, and it's just so cool. I mean, this is such a great service. It's
very new to me as well, but I'm really happy that you're my very first one.
I love it, absolutely love it, and all the power to you. I look forward to seeing more. But I do similar things on at Scott Mears on my YouTube channel. I've got my Twitter at Scott Mears _, which I'll promote pretty much all my content from my YouTube as well, some sort of like tips and tricks on digital marketing. There's my Facebook at Scott Mears Entrepreneur. Again, that's sort of promoting my blogs and some sort of interviews. And my Instagram, which I recently got, at Scott Mears Entrepreneur, and that's more promoting the people I meet. Like Jonas, I'll promote Jonas and there, because what I do is I take photos of people, not random people I meet. Don't just take people. And what I learned from that day, I then post and tell people what I learned from them. And I found that's really powerful. So yeah, that's me.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you very much, Jonas.
At Scott Mears, everything's going to be in the description below. Find him, contact him. He's a really awesome guy, and watch his vlog as well. That's it.
Thank you.
Guys.